Hi, welcome to Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid. I'm Edward Box, bit of rock today. It's new Winger album day. This actually dropped last night on someone's YouTube channel. Obviously it's been streamed properly today. I'll make no bones about the fact I really like Winger. I'm a big fan. They're a band I always liked back in the day, but I didn't like them as much as some other hair bands. And then when they kind of came back in 2006 with their Winger 4 album, I started listening to back to their albums again. And if you're looking for a band that was in that whatever you want to call it, hair band MTV era of hard rock and so on, I think they are way above the competition. Dokken aren't doing anything now. Rat aren't. TNT have long since floundered. There's other bands around who people enjoy. I'm aware of that, but Winger, had 2 platinum albums back to back, and they were a popular band in the US. And I think they still put quality stuff out. They're still pushing themselves. Yeah. Okay, so what's this album like? Well, it's produced by Kip Winger. It's got like a really good sound. Pretty much, carrying on what they did with Karma and Better Days Coming. It's kind of punchy. It's got quite a nice open drum sound. It's got a fat bottom end, really good bass sound, meaty guitars, vocals are really, really well produced. I would say this may be the best sounding Winger album, of the recent output. Other interesting fact with this album is they've brought Paul Taylor back, and this is really nice. He's on rhythm guitar, keyboards, background vocals. So now Winger's now a 5-piece, and I think that's just really nice. It's it's nice to see him in the videos that are released. It gives off a good vibe. So, opening track, people may be familiar with, Proud Desperado. I've got to say, when I first heard the title for this and heard the song, I was like, Proud Desperado. But this is an earworm to me. It gets inside your skull, so to speak. It's got a cool sort of groove, dark groove. I like the chorus isn't great, but the post-chorus is really catchy, and that's what's clever about the song. It's got what I call a double hook. You've got the Proud Desperado, which is quite a catchy phrase. Desperado has got 3 syllables, so that kind of gets in your head. Co-written with Desmond Child. I think he came up with the word proud with the word desperado. But then the bit after that, Tears That Fall Out Rain, is really good. Cool little Reb lead break. Nothing we haven't heard Reb not do before, but it's nice. Reb does what I call, I spoke about it on my other channel about legacy soloing. He plays solos like Reb Beach. He still sounds like Reb Beach and still does those Reb Beach things that we love, like tapping and whammies and so on. 3 minutes 50, really good track. Great opener. Then it's Heaven's Falling. I'm just going to look at my little notes here. I've given this 5 spins, so I'd like to give it more, but time is of the essence getting these reviews out. So I'll listen to it more. So this is kind of my, it's not my initial impressions, but so this riff's it's a good tune. It's got a nice riff and rev. You can hear the bottom end here on this. This is a really good track. It's got those nice kind of unison keyboard guitar lines as well that Winger do. And that's the thing with this band, they have that little bit of AOR influence, but when they put it in, it's not like any other band. They've got this kind of sophisticated sheen to their sound, which I've always liked, and I like even more now. So really good second riff song, pardon me. So the third song is Tears of Blood. There's actually a video just been released for this, which is really good. Excellent videos for this album. I've noticed recently bands are doing better videos. It was that time when bands were doing shit videos, but now with more green screen and cheaper production, you can actually get better visuals, and Winger have done 3 really good videos for this. This is a great track. This might be the best track so far on the album, certainly one of the best tracks. Quite interesting spoken word mid in this. If you watch the video, Kip's quite angsted. It's got a kind of Hell's Bells style intro actually, and then Reb comes with a classic kind of Winger, what I call a dyad riff, where he's using 2 note shapes on the D and G. This is a sort of a stylistic trope, not only Winger, but a lot of 80s hair metal going back to Rat, Dokken and so on. So I love this style of riffage. It's got a bridge as well, goes into the Phrygian mode, gives that kind of like sort of deep purple rainbow vibe a little bit. Nice simple lead break. And Kip's really pushing his register on this, so Kip's vocals still sound good. They are sounding a little more fragile, a little more strainy, but he's 62, of course he's going to sound like that. But he's obviously taking really good care of his voice. I think people forget what a spectacularly good singer he is. Something like Battle Stations, crazy vocals. Okay, so some great tracks, 3 really strong openers. Track number 4 is Resurrect Me. This has got a catchy chorus, it's got a kind of basic power chord riff. I found the rhythm sound a little scratchy on this, but when the double track came in, it was better. Cool little tapping bit in it. This has got another kind of spoken bits where they're kind of distorted. Like if you listen to Proud Desperado, it's got those bits about I saw you lying in the dirt. This has got some bits like that. I wouldn't say this track's great, but I'm sort of on a 6 out of 10 with it at the moment. Track number 5 is Voodoo Fire. This is a kind of dark, brooding riff is what I've written here. This is where you can actually hear there's a break in the middle where you can hear the snare sound. You can hear it sounds quite open and natural. It's not it doesn't sound overly compressed to me, but I could be wrong. Kip does a top pre-solo as well. Those of you familiar with Winger and Kip, he does like to do his own sort of take on the Joe Elliott. And before this we get a classic Kip. Right. There's a good interesting end vocal to this. It kind of goes unaccompanied, Kip's voice. So yeah, I don't think this is a great track, but it's interesting. One thing I'd say, there is quite a sort of slower mid-tempo stompy sort of tracks, and sometimes on my initial listens, might have been nicer to have some more up-tempo, but we'll wait and see as I get further into it. But number 6 is Broken Glasses, a ballad. This is 6 minutes 52, so this is the second longest track on the album. The album's 56 minutes long, 12 tracks, so kind of on the longer side, but nice. She's got a really good Paul Taylor contribution, I think, in this. You can hear the sort of piano synths. Again, like Kip's, you can hear Kip's vocals. Got a kind of strain quality on here, but it's quite emotional. So that works really good. Yeah, really great track. Winger always do good ballads. Heading for a Heartbreak, Miles Away, Without the Night, probably a little forgotten one. Who's the one? Great. Track number 7, It's Okay. This is quite an interesting track. It's quirky. The chorus is quirky. It's got quite interesting kind of stacked octave vocals, I think. Now, and this has also got an additional vocal on it, and I believe it's Reb. So the vocal tone changes, and that's quite interesting. I've never heard Reb and Kip duet before. Obviously, they've had a musical bromance going for a long time, and now this has come together in vocal form. It's pretty cool. Obviously, Reb has got a good backing vocal voice, so has John Roth, so it's one of those things, people who have good backing vocals can usually do a lead vocal. Well, they can, basically. So it's kind of got a staggered riff, really cool ending. Not a top track, but really good. Next up, Stick the Knife In and Twist. So this is a kind of more up-tempo track. It's kind of like Stone Cold Killer off the Karma album. It's only 3 minutes 32. This is the shortest track on the album. It doesn't mess around. This could be a track I'm kind of giving a 6 out of 10 at the moment. It might grow on me more because it's good that there's a track like this on the album. It sort of doesn't... It's not a track with loads of depth to it. It just kind of hits the spot. Then you got One Light to Burn. I think these next 3 tracks I'm not sure of yet. So yeah, One Light to Burn. This is written current with John Roth, actually. I kind of prefer the verse to the chorus. It's got some cool pre-solo harmonies, but it's maybe not as instant as some of the better tracks on the album. Do or Die has a really good, clean, lovely keys and clean intro, and I kind of wanted to keep that vibe, but it goes more into this dark, stompy riffage that you will find in the album. It's got a kind of harmonic minor solo as well, so again that Phrygian sound. But again, it is a good track. It's a grower, and the same really for Time Bomb. This is a kind of again, it's got that slower groove. It's got some cool swells at the end, actually volume swells. I'm just looking at my notes here. I think that might be about Trump. Kip's usually having a go at his presidents, starting going back to Winger 4. And then it finishes with It All Comes Back Around. So this is the stunning epic ballad that they've done a video for, which is really good. It's got a great rep solo on. It's a great ballad. Really good. This is actually continuing a tradition of their albums. So on the previous album, they had the track Out of This World, which is another cool ballad finisher. And Karma had, I think it's Witness, which is really good. Again, these are sort of similar lengths. So when do I sort of compare this to recent things? I mean, obviously Winger's 2 classic albums on their debut and Pull, I think. Some people would say In the Heart of the Young. It's got great tracks on it. I just think there is some sort of patchy elements on that, but it's got some fantastic songs. Winger 4, I wasn't as into the production sound on it. I do really like the album, but it's sort of deviation from the sort of classic Winger sound. You know, I preferred Karma when that came out. A lot of Deal with the Devil, Stone Cold Killer, Big World Away. Pull Me Under is a great track. Supernova, Always Within Me. Witness, After All This Time is pretty cool. So, you know, that was kind of a 7 out of 10. And I think initially I didn't like Better Days Coming as much, but it kind of grew on me, and I think I actually prefer that one to Karma. You got Midnight Travel, Love Machine, Queen of Babylon, Rat Race, Better Days Coming, they're really good. Better Days Coming, that was a great thing in lockdown. Tin Soldier had some insane soloing. Ever Wonder was good. Song China was interesting lyric. And then Out of This World finished it off. Be Who You Are Now as well. So I did like that. So this album, if you like those albums, if you like Winger, you are going to like this album. There's no doubt this is a strong record. I'm, you know, my mark out of 10 at the moment is probably, you know, 7, pushing an 8. I'm not sure. I need to spend more time with it. But none of the tracks are kind of jumping out as being, that's a bad track. And there's definitely tracks on it, you know, 5 tracks so far for me that are really, really are corking, maybe 6. So, you know, with more time with this, you know, I'll get into it more, and I'll be able to, you know, make a full assessment in my own mind. But it's worth anyone's money. Winger still got it. Playing's great, you know, production and so on. I suppose there's that thing, they could have maybe cut a track or 2. You know, it's that thing, having a 12 track 56 minute album, you know, although I'm not sure what the weaker tracks are yet, there may be 1 or 2 weaker. Oh, well, if you lost those, you get a sharper thing. But that's pretty much par for the course, and bands tend to record as many tracks as they can and complete, and they'll put them out, and, you know, with streaming, people just make their own thing. So I'm chuffed with this. It's cool, and I'm looking forward to getting into it deeper. If you've not checked Winger out, forget everything you know about Metallica throwing darts at them and Beavis and Butthead. They're a great band. They're one of the best live bands I've ever seen, because they are spectacularly good players, and their songs and their style of writing has a quality that sets them apart and puts them above the competition for me. So there, end of my Winger 7 review. Remember to share and subscribe. I'll be doing more album reviews as we go along in the next few months. Quite a lot of good stuff going out, so I hope you check out those. Plus a few film things. And I'll see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye now.